Hi, Cancer. Welcome to your May 2019 astrology and tarot reading. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We're doing monthly and mid-monthly horoscopes at the moment. And it would be great to have you on board because I have a goal of reaching 100,000 and I'd be really excited to do that. So every little helps, right? So, Cancer, you're going to like Taurus season. It's a breath of fresh air after Aries season. You know, the focus on your reputation and your career, it might have made you a bit more preoccupied with what people think. Or at least, I guess, make you suspect you know what people think. With Taurus season, it's a lot more accepting for you. It's a lot more chilled out. It's a lot more connected, I guess. When we go into Taurus season, the onus for you is really on your friendships and the people that you associate with. And, you know, there's kind of been a lot of changes there. You know, whenever Uranus moved into Taurus, for a lot of Cancers, a few people maybe got jettisoned out. You maybe realized there were a few people in your circle that weren't quite right, or you maybe realized that the people that you thought you trusted you didn't trust, and the people that you didn't trust you ended up trusting. It's a confusing enough thing. With the amount of Taurus energy we have now, if you have felt a little bit lonely or isolated or wanted to be more part of a group or a community, things like that, it's a wonderful time to get involved and connect with other people. You will find a lot of happiness this month by looking outside your original circle and looking outside your original groups. You know, trying something new is really well aspected this month, Cancer. So if that's what you want to do, by all means, do it. There's a new moon in Taurus, and for you as a sign that has trouble letting go at times, Taurian energy fits so well with yours because the new moon offers you an opportunity to plant seeds of security. It's a very soft new moon, and it's going to be sextile Neptune in your sector of travel and higher thinking and philosophy. So you're really going to be feeling a little bit more adventurous, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like stepping outside of your comfort zone. And if you want to achieve harmony in your relationships, if you want to finally get out of a rut, out of a pattern of things that have challenged your security, it's the best month to do it. Venus is in Aries up until the 15th of the month, and then Venus will move into Taurus, which is going to be lovely for everybody. But for you in particular, Venus in Aries can cause a bit of friction in your relationships. You can feel as though you can't get the career love balance going at times, but with Venus and Taurus, it's a wonderful time for romance. It's all, the onus is on relationships that are affectionate, that are present in the moment. You know, people attracting people that aren't on their phone when they're with you, people that are engaged with you. Actually, though, Venus and Taurus for you is a wonderful time to meet somebody online, ironically. Finding social networking ways of dating, for example. But there will be a stronger desire to commit, and coincidentally on the same day, on May 15th, Mars is moving into your sign, and I think Mars being in your sign is a wonderful thing. It really intensifies your energy. It gives you more energy, so that you can push further on certain things that you want to achieve. So Mars in your sign can sometimes, because it's not been here in 2 years, bear in mind, so think back to, I think, summer of 2017, it was last there. And with Mars being in your sign, you're going to possibly put a lot of impulsive changes to the fore with your physical appearance. You might get a new haircut. You might try, you know, a new nail color, something to just change up things. You're kind of having a glow up moment when Mars is in your sign, which is exciting, particularly with all the harmonious aspects with Taurus season. Now, one of the things that I really want to get to with you, Cancer, is that Saturn and Pluto are both, of course, as you know, in your relationship sector. and they've both gone retrograde, and they will be retrograded for this whole month. Okay, this is the first full month of the year when both your relationship planets are retrograding. Now, that's not a bad thing, because whenever you have a karmic planet like Saturn in your love life, it can probably feel as though you're constantly learning things about your partnership, or it almost sometimes feels as though you are going through a system. It's almost as if you're checking people off, having to write people off, having to learn this lesson over and over and over. And nothing goes away until it teaches us what we need to know. So if you have felt as though Saturn and even Pluto being in your partnership sector has been incredibly challenging for your relationships, be they romantic or business, I think for a lot of you it's probably romantic. You've learned a lot. You may not realize what you've learned until this retrograde period. It's kind of a moment of reevaluation, looking back on what's happened and realizing some harmful behaviors or harmful patterns, either from you or your partner. Even if you're single, it is kind of a time to reevaluate what's happened before. Because as I said, Cancer, it is a sign where letting go can sometimes feel that little bit harder. So sometimes Cancers are very prone to keep people around that aren't fulfilling their needs and aren't suiting them down to the ground. They're actually just running them down to the ground. So use this summer to figure out where you stand with that. Even if you're in a very happy relationship, this could be business related. For Cancers, depending on the degree that you are, sometimes this could be affecting your partnership sector. It could be affecting your intimate sector. It really is kind of reevaluating how you feel about love, how you feel about partnerships, and how you feel about equality. Okay, so it is a wonderful teacher, Saturn, and Pluto is wonderful at rebirthing you. So I think you will find this retrograde season really quite pleasant in terms of seeing something clearly for the first time in your romantic life or your partnership life or your business life that you didn't quite see before. And the truth may set you free. If you have felt change to a particular pattern or particular process, the truth will set you free. So this is a very comfortable month for you, Cancer. I really like it. I do think whenever Mars goes into your sign, you're going to feel that little bit more motivated, that little bit more excited about life again. It's sort of like, it's kind of like you've been rebooted. With Mars going through Gemini, it can have felt a little at times as though you were drowning, I think, because your emotional thought patterns, processes, everything that was going on in your subconscious just felt like too much at times. And then Aries season as well, it's pushing you to be motivated, pushing you to be better, and you can get lost in what other people are thinking. But not in May. Not in May. It's going to feel like a lot of relief for you, Cancer, if you've been feeling a little bit run down. So let's see what we've got. Bear in mind, I actually didn't touch on this. I hope it comes up in the cards. Full moon in Scorpio. Full moon in your 5th house of romance, of creativity, of play, of excitement. What's it mean for you? You might see something you didn't know. 2 of Pentacles, the Fool, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, and the High Priestess. High Priestess came out for somebody else in the outcome. Who was it? Who was it? I don't remember. Goodness. I only did these yesterday. Okay, so that Ace of Swords is underneath. Let's see what's with the High Priestess. Ooh, Justice. Yes. Karmic completion. Saturn. And Karma, Saturn. Karma, Saturn. Anyway, yes, you get it. You get it, Cancer. This is a brand new start. You're getting it. You understand. You understand why things have happened. You're having clarity. You're having a sense of perspective change. You can see clearly now why this has happened. You can see clearly now why you had to go through that period of isolation or being alone. Saturn had something to teach you. And here he has appeared. Clearly, could have been with a Libra. A Libra could have taught you something that you needed to know. Could have been a Pisces. Okay, Cancer. Could have been a Pisces, could have been a Libra. The fixed signs have all come up. Virgo has come up. In case you don't know what the fixed signs are, Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus. But we won't fixate too much on the signs because it's different for everybody. No one sign fits all. So you, at some point recently, or at some point in May, will face a hermit moment. And a lot of people despair of the hermit moment. And I get why. Because it is, by appearance, a very isolated, a very lonely card. But what's the difference between his solitude and justice, or the High Priestess, or the Two of Pentacles? They're all singular. They're all one person. It's the word the hermit that frightens people. Because the hermit always finds the answers that nobody else does. The High Priestess, she kind of has them all. She has secrets. She has mysteries. She's comfortable with that. She kind of just knows how to use her third eye, and she uses her intuition. She uses it for her betterment. She sees all that kind of thing. Justice weighs up the facts. Justice will keep things in perspective, keep things balanced. Justice wants the truth. So basically, the difference between the three, if I use them as major arcana examples, the hermit is out looking for the answers because he knows they're out there and he knows that he can find them. Justice weighs up the answers, and the High Priestess sees the rest. So you're finding an inner truth that has incredible leverage to how your destiny plays out, to how your experience is going to play out. And it is Saturn related, so it is relationships. For a lot of you, it is marriage. For a lot of you, you have learned something through marriage. Or when we think of Saturn, we think of the father, your parents' marriage. But the whole system of legal partnerships or cohabitation or the legal aspect of having a child with someone, it all comes into play. It's as though you sense that there is a deeper meaning, there is deeper connectedness, there is something that you need to be made aware of. And the High Priestess initially means that you think you're not finding this. You think you're not getting it. You're like, why? You know, the Wheel of Fortune, you've been going around in this negative cycle about something or someone, something karmic. I get it. The High Priestess, though, she reminds me a lot of the moon. And there's a moon here, yes, it's crescent shaped. And whenever I'm thinking of her, I'm actually thinking more of the full moon being in Scorpio, being in a very playful arena. Because Scorpio is not playful. Not for most people. You guys can see it though. You know, if you're dealing with a Scorpio person, you can kind of see, you can make them laugh. I think out of all the signs, a Cancer can make a Scorpio laugh. So this full moon isn't going to intimidate you the way it may intimidate others. And I'm sort of thinking, not just with Scorpios, but a Cancer person can make people laugh in a way that is relieving. You know, you kind of give people, I think it was Joan Rivers said, if you laugh, or at least she repeated this quote, so pardon my sources, but she did say if you make people laugh, you give them a mini vacation. And I don't think it's her quote, she quoted it from somebody else, so if you know, let me know. And that's kind of what you're doing for people. But why is it then people are dropping such heavy stuff on you? You know, you're setting people free with laughter, you're giving them a safe space to enjoy themselves. Why then are people dumping all this negative karma on you? And it's because you've not quite figured them out yet. You've not quite figured out why your relationships or your work relationships or whatever it is, because there's a pattern here that's not working anymore. There's something that is limiting to you. The Wheel of Fortune is in the challenge position, it is a feeling of bad karma. And a lot of people believe that karmic isn't just this life, it's the last one. What will relieve you though, Cancer, is that you're breaking out of that pattern. The Wheel of Fortune and the challenge are those situations where you meet somebody and suddenly they have to leave, move country, they got a job, so you don't see them again. Or you think you found your dream person and then you find out unexpectedly they've been living a double life, that kind of thing. Negative situations continually coming in. Now, this isn't true for every Cancer, of course. It can be another arena. It can be feeling like you go from job to job and none of them are fulfilling you. So whatever it is for you, you're finding out the why. And the why is the catalyst for change. The reasoning behind it, what's going on within you, what it sources back to, what it's been trying to teach you. You suddenly decide, pause, I'm going to find out. I'm going to go into my hermit mode. And hermit mode is not isolation. Hermit mode is reflection. That's the difference. I have seen the hermit come up just before somebody met someone wonderful. And the reason that it was is because as soon as they surrendered and said, I'm going to be okay being on my own, I have to figure out who I am, I have to figure out what I want. As soon as they did that and they had those moments where they just listened to themselves about what they truly wanted, not who, but what, everything fell into place. And the High Priestess is a guarder of secrets. She's the dark and the light. She is the give and take. And then with Justice, we have the balance. Okay? However bad things have been, they're about to balance out with something just as good. That's the law of karma. With the World card, Saturn, and I don't know if this would be agreed upon in astrology because it just depends on the perspective, but when Saturn's retrograding in your partnership sector and it takes a moment of reflection for you, and then we have this full moon in Scorpio in your romantic sector, it kind of feels to me like you could meet somebody who is part of your destiny. Do you know what I mean? Like somebody who's meant to be there, somebody that you may marry, or you may decide to cohabitate with, or you may decide to buy a home or go into business with. Justice and the World. I think it's the end to negative karma. I think it's the end to secrets. I think you're finally going to be honest about something that has long since lingered within you. And as soon as you're honest about it, it sets you free. And that's when you attract an honest opportunity. You might even decide to teach. You might even find your calling. And I actually think for a lot of you Cancers, there's a strong element with the High Priestess and Justice of being a female boss, or maybe having a female boss. But you're getting in control of your own destiny. You're making the changes, you're making the appropriate steps to go forward, and you're doing it by learning something, like, figuring out what that teaching moment is. Saturn is a teacher. And Saturn, firefly. Gorgeous. You're lighting up the dark. You're illuminating. That's what this is. I say that every month about the full moon as being an illuminator. In your romantic sector, it's a lovely illumination. It really is. You see something in the dark. Dragonfly in the wheel. Sorry, that was my wheel noise. That was not appropriate, and that was not accurate, I suppose. So we have a dragonfly and a firefly. So you're literally flying, Cancer. You're in the air. That's a lot of air energy, actually. Libra and Aquarius are sticking out quite a bit. Doesn't mean you can't be dealing with a Gemini for sure, because, all the signs are applying. But the dragonfly is the master of light. And it's also curious. The dragonfly asks you to consider the quality of your mind and perception. Are things clear? You know, the situation that you're going through, the book says that it may be different than it first appears. And that makes so much sense because the High Priestess, as I say, very secretive energy. There is this kind of, and I know I've repeated the word illumination, but there's a shift in the way you're seeing things or what you know. So when you're calm, it's when the wisdom comes through. It's meditation, it's deep breath. The firefly. I love the firefly because he's so inspiring. And it's always this little spark. It's that light bulb moment. That light bulb moment. For some of you Cancers, it is a social media presence that you have. And the Mercury-Uranus conjunction means information may come out. An unexpected, interesting email may come through via social media. Just bear in mind, because I see this firefly as being the Mercury feeling and Uranus, because Mercury and Uranus are both kind of fleeting aspects. You know, they're both kind of like, poof, blink and you miss it. And that's what the firefly is, the firefly energy, that creative spirit, that creative spark. You may be getting it with writing, publishing, something like that. You know, the Ace of Swords is all about writing your feelings down, writing and creating. So if you're a writer, Cancer, you will be blessed with a spark of information or creativity. Because the wheel I really, really love because the wheel is so peaceful. The wheel represents profound emotional health and stability. So Cancer, what we were talking about with your emotions and trying to figure out why certain things have been happening over and over, you're finally getting it and it gives you peace. The World card gives you peace. Trust me. The World card puts a big full stop to something and begins a new cycle. As a reason, it's the last card in the major arcana. So let me read you the wheel. Wheel personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain as they have overcome many challenges in their lives. These experiences have enriched them, given them stability, strength, and a depth which is rare. It's funny, I'm just using this as an example, but Khloe Kardashian's a Cancer, I think, and she just reminds me of her Twitter bio, because it's been up there forever. It's something like, I crave a love so deep that the ocean would be jealous. And I swear, like, if the wheel card had a Twitter bio, that might be it. Because look at him. You know he's deep because of how dark the water is here. He's deep into the water. These experiences have enriched them. Wheel energy is usually linked to feminine forces of compassion and communication. We can depend on wheel personalities when all else seems lost and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. That's so Cancerian. You know, bringing the compassionate, caring side, the feminine energy, caring for people when they feel lost. But consider who in your life is there and then gone again, because that's kind of Firefly. You know, they're there and then they're gone again, whether as you're consistently there, I guess. When you're in balance, you're calm, you're steady, you're compassionate. When out of balance, heavy and slips into old story. You have the ability and the opportunity to retell your story, rewrite your story, is an Ace of Swords energy. Rewrite the story, begin again, start a new chapter, start a new narrative. Be a different protagonist than you are. Be your own hero, Cancer. Because the winds are changing. There's an opportunity in May to put a full stop on a chapter that you want out of and to begin not only a new chapter, but maybe a new book. Okay, so I really love this month for you, Cancer. It's really exciting. It's compatible energy, it's comfortable energy, and it is a great platform to sow seeds of opportunity, sow seeds of security, find out how much your needs are being met and how much they're not, and change that, because I think it's changing for you. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next set of readings. Bye.